Alright, now we're going to go into something that's a little bit less sexy, but you have to understand in order to be able to program. Now, you can probably do programming without knowing much about it, and I'm not going to go in too many details, but know that you need at least a little bit of flavor of what this is. So we're going to learn about strings and integers and all different types of primitive types for programming. But before we do so, I'm going to remove the taxi, the blue car, and a few of these objects. How do we do this? Just click the command key down or control key and just select them. I'm just going to keep the dummy right now. And I'm going to right click and click on delete. And that's it, they're all gone. And we just have the capsule. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Z if I want to remove that. If I made an error, I press Ctrl Z, and you can always unselect the plane. And now right click, delete. Alright, so now I have the dummy capsule here and the plane below so that we see where it is. Now what I want you to do is click on the dummy capsule and change its color. So go to default material here in the mesh renderer and change this to something else so that it's easier to see here on default material, and we're going to select red. Okay, so that it's easier to see. There we go. Now we have some kind of a red pill. Alright, and it's going up right now. Now, what if we want to control the speed of how fast this is going up? Then we need some kind of variable, and a variable is what's allowing you to control the speed of this specific object that's moving. So if you go back to the script by double clicking on the script name, it opens back here, and you see that the speed right now is going the vector up times 0.3. Now again, I'm not explaining all of this yet, but I will explain that in a little bit later. But know that the speed is controlled by this number here, 0.3. And instead of having a number, you can have a variable, and you can always play with that variable and change it within Unity. How do you do this? You create what we call a variable. So right here, after the first curly brace of mono behavior, press enter a couple of times, and here write public float, and here write let's say speed. All right, and put a semicolon at the end. And now you can remove this, delete that, and write speed instead. All right, so what this means is that the speed will be the variable that will control this. Now there's no value right now, the speed has no value, but it has a default value. When there's no value, it's 0 by default. So save this, file save, and now this has a float number. Float is basically a number that's a decimal number. I could go more into details because there's different things between, there's differences between a float, an integer, a decimal number, a double, but know that floats and doubles are the ones you're going to be using the most of the time. So floats or double, these are the two types you're going to be using whenever you deal with numbers. Alright, so save this, file save, and go back to Unity. Now inside of Unity, once it's loaded, look at the dummy behavior script that you have in the inspector by clicking on dummy, and you see a speed variable here, and it has 0 now. So press play, and now you see that the object is not moving. Why? Because the speed is 0. Now go ahead and write 1, and now it's moving. Okay, now write -1, and it's moving again, but moving in the other direction. Put 0.5 and it will move up, but at a lower speed. Okay, and now negative 0.3, you will see it, and here it goes. Okay, you can always pause this, and as you can see, we can play with the speed here and even the direction because we added this variable, and that's what variables are all about. So remember, add a speed variable on top, or any names you'd like. By the way, it doesn't have to be speed. It could be you know, you could call it hello, for example. Okay, and save this, go back to Unity, and you will see that the name now is going to change from speed to hello. Oh, I'm sorry, if you change hello there, you need to change hello here too. Okay, save this, go back to Unity, and now you will see it going from speed to hello. There you go, it says hello. But why do we want to call it speed? Because it's actually more precise. For us humans, we understand it better when it says speed than hello, right? Because we're like, what does hello mean here, right? Okay, actually speed is not good enough because you probably want to put horizontal speed or vertical speed or thrust, depending on how precise you want to be. But as long as it's something that you could remember and that other people can understand what you meant, then that's totally fine. Alright, so that's all there is to know about decimals for now. Now there's a lot more to it, but that will be enough to get you started for any projects.